Does the position of Deputy Prime Minister belong to the ODM party or to the person of Musalia Mudavadi? This is the heart of the debate triggered by Mudavadi's declaration that he would hang on to the office of DPM despite breaking away from the ODM.
So that even the notion that there is a position belonging to any party is actually false. You don't see it when you read the law. The law does not mention PNU. The law does not mention ODM. So that today, Uhuru would, and that is what he first challenged anybody, since I am not resigning and have not died, if you want to remove me, just go to parliament. I believe it's the same thing that Mudavadi is saying.
Raila Odinga is, however, said to have a justification, despite the National Accord, to argue that Mudavadi's stay as Deputy Prime Minister in the Grand Coalition government violates the spirit of the National Accord.
That is very apparent at the moment. That, of course, one party in the coalition has lost a principal office, the office of the Deputy Prime Minister. We don't know where that office has gone, whether it has joined the other partner, PNU, or it is somewhere. We don't know where it is, but that is very apparent.
The National Accord, which allowed sharing of power between ODM and the PNU, was carefully crafted to protect the Prime Minister and the two deputies from intrigues and power play that would destabilize the Grand Coalition government. Now, it is a big dilemma for the ODM party.
According to the agreement, PNU was to provide one deputy premier, ODM was to provide the other deputy premier. And since he has left ODM, then his conscience should clearly instruct him to also leave that position. But when it comes to legal technicalities, and I heard him quote quite a number yesterday, I think it might be a little difficult to get him onto that.
Raila Odinga's side of the coalition is now left with just two options: to go to court to challenge Mudavadi's continued hold on the office of the DPM, or to attempt to marshal enough members of parliament to remove Musalia Mudavadi from the seat constitutionally.
He's equally vulnerable as much as anybody else, because it depends on how many enemies and allies you have in parliament if the issue was to arise.
Raila's support in parliament has changed drastically since the beginning of the ODM rebellion led by William Ruto and his friends. It is believed this is why Musalia Mudavadi and Uhuru Kenyatta are speaking very authoritatively, knowing they cannot be removed through a vote in parliament. Their positions as MPs are also protected by the transitional clauses in the constitution.
If a minister or a deputy prime minister decides to either resign his position as a minister in the ODM wing of the political party, by implication, then to me it would amount to a revocation of his own nomination, even as a candidate for a parliamentary seat under that party.
Mudavadi's defiant stance to maintain his position in the Grand Coalition is expected to provide rich fodder for opponents who might use it to criticize Mudavadi during the presidential campaigns. Otieno, KTN Prime.